Smokepurpp. Now, if you don't know who Smokepurpp is, Smokepurpp was one of the rappers from Lil Pump's era of SoundCloud. Everyone knows who Smokepurpp is. Lil Pump, X, Ski. If you might be too young to know who these people are, but SoundCloud was the wave for most of these guys. Smokepurpp is a rapper that came from that era of rappers from SoundCloud blowing up like crazy. That was like literally their era, and they put Broward County on the map, basically. This nigga broke now. I used to be a fan of Smokepurpp. I used to like his music, but you know, he didn't drop anything. He kind of died down. Then he made a song saying he's back like a couple months ago. He was gone for a minute. Smokepurpp has fallen off. He's like Lil Xan now. Lil Xan is broke. That nigga's broke. That nigga's begging for sponsors. Literally. And when you look at this video, bro, this video is basically him performing at a show with no crowd. Bro, look at this, bro. This shit loud as hell. Let's turn that down real quick. Nah, son. Look at this. There's nobody there. It's like a house party with nobody. He's performing there. I don't know if he got paid for this, but if he did, nobody showed up. I filmed how there was no one there. Now, we all know 1985. If you're a J. Cole fan, you know 1985. J. Cole predicted this 3 years ago. He said, the wave that y'all are making music is gonna die down and y'all gonna fall off. Cause he dissed J. Cole years ago. He fell off. Pump low-key fell off, but Pump still has a fan base because he has OnlyFans. And Pump just dropped a song. That shit had like 1 million views in like 2 or 3 days. But Pump should be helping this man. This man has no money. Listen. Look at this. There is nobody there, bro. There's probably like 10 people listening to him right now. I filmed how there was no one there. There's nobody there. Now we're gonna react to another video. This video was made in 2020. Look at this, bro. The 1985 effect. From Speaks. J. Cole predicted this. Y'all gotta understand, if y'all making music, y'all cannot get lazy. If say you've been grinding your ass off to get that label to sign you, and then when the label signs you, you stop making music because you're like, okay, I'm comfortable. I'm fucking bitches. I'm getting hoes. My nigga, you cannot do that. You're really gonna sit there and be like, I'm gonna take a break from music and just perform one song? You have to keep grinding, because you don't keep grinding, niggas gonna be like, yo, this nigga don't drop music. What is the purpose of us liking your music if you don't drop no music? It don't make no sense. So, and look at that 1985 effect. J. Cole literally said it. The wave for your music is gonna die down, and all them little white kids are gonna get older and get tired of you. And that's exactly what happened with Purpp. With Purpp and Lil Pump. Occasionally, other rappers kept grinding. These niggas thought it would be comfortable to stop making music. That's what happened with Lil Xan. Lil Xan does not make music. His album, when he dropped it, was trash. After that, nobody talked about Lil Xan ever again. The last time somebody talked about Lil Xan is when Lil Uzi Vert was like, I want to make music and collab with people. Xan replied to it and said, yo, we out, let's make music. Lil Uzi Vert said, nah, not right now, bro. Then he deleted the comment. Nobody fucks with Lil Xan. Lil Xan and Smokepurpp are the examples of niggas who fell off. Who else? Who else fell off that was from that era? Ugly God. I have not heard from Ugly God in God knows how long. Ugly God, nobody talks about him. I don't even know what he's doing. If y'all niggas are rappers and y'all start chilling, that's going to be the end of your career. So you better off investing. But instead, rappers usually buy cars, jewelry, sneakers, all that shit, and then waste their money on the hoes. Go broke. But let's see this video. This video is 16 minutes and 11 seconds. The 1985 effect.
Now, just a message to any and every young rapper out there who's trying to make it in this rap game. Whatever you do, there's something I want you to study very deeply. Now, I would call this something somewhat of a guideline, something that's going to put you in the right direction and most importantly, make you stay in that direction. What exactly am I talking about though? That something that I'm talking about is 1985 by J. Cole. The 1985 effect has, for the second time, proven itself to be an actual thing. This video was actually inspired by Smokepurpp, the young Florida rapper recently released an album titled Florida Jit, and some of you probably might know exactly what I'm gonna be talking about. At this very moment, Smokepurpp is the rapper a lot of people in the hip-hop community are making fun of. The reason for that is because his album didn't do all that well, despite having
And niggas still clowning him today. That's crazy, right?
some heavy hitters as features like Denzel Curry, Jack Harlow, and Rick Ross, and of course his friend Lil Pump. The first week sales of the album ended up being 5,000 copies. It's honestly been a while since I've seen numbers that are at this low of a level. The last time I remember that happening was when Tyga did a little over 2,000 copies back in 2015. There's so many things I want to lay out on the table regarding this topic, but let's start with the first point, which is the word fanbase. Smokepurpp has 4+ million followers on Instagram. Now, a rapper...
This is wrong. This video, remember y'all, this video is from 2020. I guarantee you, he don't got... I guarantee you right now, what the fuck? I guarantee you right now, he don't got 4 million, bro. What is his... Oh, hell no, bro. What is this? 4 million... He still got 4 million.
Like Smokepurpp selling 5,000 copies first week tells me one thing and one thing only. There's a lack of a fan base when it comes to him. He's not the only rapper who has this issue. More than any time in hip-hop, this is very common right now. So many rappers are popping off left and right. They're getting hundreds and thousands of followers in the matter of weeks, and then fast forward to when they...
So he hasn't grown in 2 years. He still has 4 million. How you have 4 million fucking followers and nobody's at your show? Nobody fucks with his music anymore.
Actually drop an album, and their so-called fans aren't really there to support them, and that's because they're not really fans, they're just followers. And there's a really big difference between Instagram followers and actual fans. Right now, we're living in an extremely viral time. Things are moving faster than they've ever been moving. Smokepurpp is of course someone who has benefited from this. He of course took off back in 2017 alongside Lil Pump. Coming up, both of these guys...
That was their era. 2017 and was their era, especially with X and Ski. That was their time. 2016 to 2017, a lot of rappers was blowing up and a lot of music was getting thrown at us fans, and that shit was fire.
Guys were viewed as a duo, the two poppin' and young Florida rappers who were on their way up together. We all saw how this movie played out though. Lil Pump absolutely blew up with Gucci Gang and kind of left Smokepurpp behind. Definitely not the best place to be in. What happens when one of the acts starts packing his bags, figuratively speaking, and leaves the other one behind? I want to emphasize
that's
this.
One thing y'all should never do. If you and your homie is making music and you blow up, you should be tagging your homeboy alongside you. If you go to your label's like, yo, we don't like this nigga, we don't want to sign him, I'm leaving. I can get signed by another label, bro. You gotta push your homeboy with you, especially if y'all been growing up together. A lot of people have people like that when they just leave him in the mic. Like Uzi had a nigga that they both were making music, and his homeboy was actually jealous of Uzi because his music was popping more than him. And then when Uzi got signed, they just cut the ties, you feel me?
One thing, the way you come into the game is usually how things end for most rappers. The popping rapper trap, you've heard me use this term throughout my videos because I see how it's affecting these young rappers. That's exactly where someone like Smokepurpp is at right now. I want you to realize that Smokepurpp was a rapper who was extremely heavy on the antics when he was first taken off. After all, he was close friends with the antics king, which is Lil Pump. And on top of that, he was also one of the leaders of the whole J. Cole movement.
It's a weak ass movie.
What you heard right there was Smokepurpp leading an J. Cole chant at one of his shows right after KOD by J. Cole dropped. 1985, I arrived. The moment J. Cole very gracefully responded to Lil Pump after Pump dissed J. Cole several times and even once during that period, recorded...
How you gonna diss one of the greatest rappers in our era? And look at you now. He was right, now you broke. He literally was right. That's crazy.
A diss track aimed at him. Smokepurpp was also, of course, included in this 1985 response, but this was mainly aimed at Lil Pump. That's why that J. Cole and Lil Pump interview became a thing later on. By this point, most of us have already seen that interview, but what exactly...
It's crazy it was about Pump, yeah, but it's affecting both of them.
It
affected Smokepurpp more, because Smokepurpp don't make no goddamn music. He's getting clowned.
The purpose of it. If you ask me, my interpretation, J. Cole wanted to sit down with Lil Pump to understand him.
I realized that in time.
Pump was younger. Pump was like 16 back then. Sure.
But I mean, it worked.
16, 17 years old, bro.
Once you seen it started picking up, you had to be like, oh yeah, I'm about to run with this. Like,
this was Cole picking Lil Pump's brain on the true motives behind him leading that J. Cole movement. Lil Pump specifically stated in this interview, right before this part that I played you, that he was strictly trolling during that time. Despite this being obvious to most of us, I think the most interesting thing about Pump being face-to-face with the same man he was very unnecessarily disrespecting on social media was seeing the contrast between his energy on camera versus in real life.
Right, in real life,
wow, you get so much prop.
That's the thing about the internet. Niggas will talk crazy behind the camera and on live, or on Instagram or social media, but when they face that person face to face, it's never the same energy. Sometimes it's the same energy. It's like how Uzi was beefing with what was it, Rich the Kid? Uzi had all the energy. Rich the Kid was just standing there like a pussy with all his niggas. Uzi told all his security and all his homeboys, stay back here. I got this. He walked up to this nigga like, let's fight right here, one-on-one. Rich the Kid was behind like 4 or 5 niggas. It's not the same energy for most of these niggas. It's really not.
Just a 17
Some niggas will really be like on site. They will fight you. Some niggas won't.
I ain't worried about none of you old heads. I ain't with none of that lyric. I just be having fun with what I do.
I think J. Cole played his role in this interview really well. You gotta keep in mind, there was a purpose behind it. Apart from the understanding part of things, there was also another aspect, education.
Did you even think it would get to the point
Sorry, y'all figuring.
Of even this, where it's like, or where we would have a conversation, like, never.
You either.
Believe it or not, this interview served as validation to J. Cole, because it's one thing to make a song and it's another thing to sit down and school the person you're speaking to on your record in real life. On top of that, he kept the same let me school you but not be condescending energy he had on the song in person as well, and that's consistency. 1985 by J. Cole served as a guide for the young rappers from this generation to follow. Why would a young and poppin' rapper listen to anything J. Cole has to say, you might ask? Well, because he's been that young and poppin' rapper. I remember I was 18, he rapped, playing that big brother role instead of looking down on them. The thing is, 1985 is the guide a lot of young rappers won't or don't follow. This is actually something I kind of...
That's true. Like, a lot of young rappers who like J. Cole should listen to this song, or upcoming rappers should listen to this song because he's speaking facts. When kids get older, they don't listen to some of your music the same, because a lot of fans that like a lot of rappers' music are little kids from the age of maybe 15 and under. And as they get older, they're like, man, this music sucks.
I understand, because you're supposed to live the way you want to live. What Cole talks about on 1985 is one way of living. Most young and poppin' hip-hop artists don't really want to avoid buying chains and avoid living the fast life, all because it's going to help their future self. Technically, that's the right thing to do, but it's of course easier said than done. Kodak Black is a great example of what I'm talking about. What did J. Cole say on Middle Child? Had a long talk with the young nigga Kodak, reminded me of young niggas from Ville, straight out the projects, no faking, just honest. I wish that he had more guidance for real. We've all been asking ourselves, how come...
Kodak be pissing me off too, man. Kodak, if you're from Florida, you know how Kodak is. We all have been fans of Kodak for years. Way before Kodak blew up. But Kodak was very local. Okay, when you look at the Florida rappers, out of every Florida rapper that blew up, that was local around 2017, 2016, like X, Ski, all of them, Kodak was already bigger than all of them. When I was in high school, I went to Miramar High School, a lot of people didn't know Ski and X. A lot of people. But niggas was throwing Kodak music left and right, being like, oh, you listen to a new Kodak mixtape type shit everywhere. Kodak was bigger than all of them.
Kodak Black is constantly getting into trouble
though,
every
bro.
other day. This man is literally throwing away his blessings all for nothing. But then again, that's the way he's been operating his whole life. Kodak comes from that life. It's ingrained in his character to act out, and that's why it's easier said than done. He's literally fighting against his own programming, and this is obviously something Cole knows. That's why he was wishing for someone to guide him in the right direction in his younger years. There's other artists we've heard Cole give advice to apart from Kodak. He's gave some to Logic as well on the outro track of Everybody with that secret feature. But one reason why I think so many people are resonating with J. Cole when it comes to the advice he's giving to young rappers on 1985 is because he does it in a very non-condescending way. And that's why I think the effect is so powerful in the first place. If it wasn't powerful, then the same guy he responded to on there would have never been sitting in the same room with him. Not only did he approach it from a very objective standpoint, but was he really lying? You've seen what happened to Lil Pump. He's been stuck in that poppin' rapper trap for some time now. He's been trapped inside that Lil Pump prison, and that's why every single time his buzz hits a new low, he pulls some kind of social media stunt to get people's attention again. The most recent
That's what he did with Trump. That's what he did with Trump.
stunt was, of course, the Juice WRLD Private Jet lyrics, which I made a video on.
Juice WRLD 70 pounds on the private jet.
You don't really see too many people talking about Lil Pump when he's not dropping music or when he's not acting out on social media. Now this is the part where J. Cole talks about this on 1985. One day them kids that's listening gonna grow up and get too old for that shit that made you blow up. Now your show's looking light because they don't show up, which unfortunately means the money slow up. Now you scrambling and hoping to get hot again, but you forgot you only pop because you was riding trends. I think Lil Pump gave J. Cole all the ammunition he needed for this one, all because he very unnecessarily came for him and forced Cole to respond. It ain't like he's not speaking facts though. The writing trends part is as clear as it can be. The peak of rappers like this is when the antics are in full effect. People can't cling on to the clout chasing activities that you're constantly involving yourself in forever. That's one of the bigger takeaways from 1985. At some point, like Cole said, the money will start slowing up. It's either that or the buzz will completely die down to the point where you have to resort to constantly chasing the high, and that's something that gets exhausting. Not only does it get
A lot of them have to realize, like a lot of rappers gonna have to realize, you guys are not gonna be on like J. Cole, Kendrick, Drake, Kanye level. You feel me? These guys are older now. These guys are in their late 30s. And Lil Wayne, late 30s, and people still talk about them. There's a difference between being a regular rapper and one of those famous rappers. Kanye and J. Cole, all of them, they're up there. You're like a regular rapper that you're a rapper that made it, but Kanye and Drake and all of them are way up there, so they're gonna be talked about for years. Still have bigger fan bases. And Pump and Lil Pump and Perk, they thought they were gonna be like that. No.
Get exhausting, but it also gets old. Not only does it get old, but your fans get old. Now you old news and you're going through regrets because you never bought a house, but you got a Benz and a bunch of jewels and a bunch of shoes and a bunch of fake friends. I ain't judging you. This is J. Cole hitting on something I've talked about a lot on my channel, and that's the conversation about what kind of people a lot of these rappers surround themselves with. As soon as they get into the industry, they start building all these so-called friendships that are built on a very fickle foundation. A lot of times it's built on what they can gain from that situation. J. Cole also talks about the lifestyle aspect of it. They got the car or multiple cars, but no house in sight. I don't even think this part is exclusive to rappers at all. This is a people problem. We as people don't always make the smartest financial decisions because we live in a consumer society. Buy this product, buy that product, don't forget to buy this as well, and that will fill whatever void you have inside of you. Obviously, it's a whole bunch of cappery, okay? It's all cap to keep us attached to useless materials that won't make us any happier. Right now, I personally know a couple people who are driving around in the newest Mercedes model, but they're sleeping on the floor by choice, and they're inhaling oxygen for breakfast and lunch and having sleep for dinner every single night by choice. This is obviously happening because they want to keep on pulling up in that Mercedes, and that's
true. You want to look nice in a nice car, but you broke as hell.
Why I'm saying that this is a people problem and not necessarily a rapper problem that J. Cole is addressing. When it comes to rappers and the rap industry, this aspect is obviously a huge part of things. The glorification of materialism has been a part of the hip-hop culture. Just like I said in my 6ix9ine versus Lil Baby video though, it's even bigger now because rappers have the ability to document and show off that kind of lifestyle. J. Cole himself is a rapper who's actually anti-materialism.
Saying basically what I'm telling you right now, what I realize is like the monetary, the material even the success and like the things that you place your importance on, never can satisfy you and ever make you happy because they never end. There's no amount of money that will ever make you stop if money is what you care about. You'll keep going. Oh, I got $1 million, gotta get 10, got 10, gotta get
That sound like DDG.
100, got 100, gotta get 5, got 5, gotta get $1 billion. If it's cars, you'll never have enough cars. If it's women, you'll never have enough. You'll be chasing them forever. If it's success, you can never get enough of that. I realize that. It's like, it doesn't stop. It keeps calling you. It's like a drug.
It's a hamster wheel.
It's a hamster wheel. And it's like...
The only reason why this is the case, though, is because he himself went through a little phase of being that rapper who rocked chains and expensive designer clothes. It's never really been a part...
Because when you broke, bro, especially us black people, we go through a lot. So when you broke and you finally get money, you want to splurge on yourself, which is very understandable, you know?
Part of his image as a rapper, but that phase does exist, which is the point. Nowadays, though, we know that he doesn't place too much or any value, for that matter, on material possessions. On his classic Forest Hills Drive album he dropped in 2014, he talks about this on the track Yours Truly, the song where J. Cole flips the script on everyone and glamorizes the struggle while distancing himself from the flashy lifestyle. I think him, once again, bringing this up on 1985, but directing this knowledge to his fellow rappers is very congruent with the kind of person he actually is. Him pretty much saying all this years before on, for example, Yours Truly is highly consistent with the advice he's giving on 1985. And I think this is something that makes the rappers he's speaking to more receptive towards the message. He's been on both sides. He knows that it's going to lead to a dead-end road at the end. This is an aspect of this conversation I really want to emphasize, because an artist like J. Cole, who's been on both sides, has the perspective a Lil Pump lacks. I think that's why a lot of young rappers aren't really concerned with the future, because they're popping right now, they're getting the money right now.
As a rapper, you should always be concerned with your future, because you can fall off at any moment. It could be something you say, another song you drop, your album being trash, or your mixtape being trash. So listen, as a rapper, you will always fall off. There's always something or someone that will make you fall off.
They're on top right now, and the fall off is always, and I mean always, inevitable for a rapper like that, because they're not scheming and planning for the future. The assumption that their wave is gonna last forever is exactly what's holding them back. The rappers who are in it for the long term grow and adapt. An example, 21 Savage. 2 years ago, 21 Savage announced that he no longer was gonna wear any jewelry.
I stopped wearing jewelry for a couple of reasons. One is because everybody wears jewelry. I outgrew it. I'm getting a little wiser and growing. So another reason is because the richest people that I've ever met in my life, they never had on jewelry. Every time I meet somebody who's very, very rich, like wealthy, I never seen them with jewelry on.
He's actually been consistent with this. Looking at his Instagram, he hasn't really been messing with the jewelry like that. Apart from earrings and watches, which isn't much, he's been sticking to his words. I think there's two kinds of rappers in the industry, the ones who get wiser and the ones who get foolish. A good example of getting wiser is 21 Savage, and 1985 is definitely not talking about the rappers who grow and evolve. It is, however, directly addressing the rappers who go in that other direction.
If you look at 21 Savage from the past and the future, 21 Savage has matured. He realizes all that gangbang shit is not worth it. All that jewelry and shit is not worth it. He don't do all that shit no more because he's older now. That's what niggas gotta understand. He actually became wiser, that's why I respect 21 Savage.
By the way, his
music is violence, but that's what people like to hear, so he's not gonna change his style for that. But he actually got wiser. He's a perfect example.
Make something very clear. There's nothing wrong with a rapper wearing jewelry. I got some myself. Gotta stay icy. Gotta stay clean. You gotta stun from time to time. Yes, sir. I'm more so laser focusing on the growth and mentality aspect, and that's why the fall off is inevitable for a rapper who doesn't evolve, who doesn't grow, and who chooses to ignore the reality of the things Cole is hitting on. And the thing is, a lot of them don't willingly ignore reality. They're simply not aware of the pitfalls. Lil Xan most likely wasn't aware of how his...
This nigga fell off. Lil Xan has fallen off. He has become so desperate that he will beg for sponsorship. This man is garbage. I don't know why y'all made him blow up. He's so trash. He only had Betrayal. That was the only good song he had. That nigga is garbage.
His management was gonna end up controlling him when he got signed. Lil Pump most likely wasn't aware that all the social media stunts he was pulling when he was blowing up were eventually gonna become old to people. Smokepurpp most likely wasn't planning on selling 5,000 copies first week 3 years ago. The point is, these aren't things that you plan for, and that's why they're the pitfalls of the rapper journey. The 1985 effect is a very simple concept. It's when a young rapper is reckless with their career. They don't see the danger zones they can fall into if they're not careful and don't make wise decisions for themselves. 1985 by J. Cole paints this reality very vividly, and this reality seems to grow stronger and stronger as time goes on. And in this case, we already have 2 confirmed casualties. The victims are Smokepurpp and Lil Pump. And like I said earlier in the video, 1985 is a guideline. This is a song on how any young and poppin' rapper should preferably navigate through the rap game. I'd be lying if I said that I believe every rapper can operate this way, but one thing I do believe 100% is the fact that you guaranteed will be better off if you do. If I had to summarize this effect in one sentence, 1985 is about how to build a long-lasting career as a young rapper by consciously avoiding all the dangers and the pitfalls that come with being in that position. In the future, you're gonna see a whole lot of cases that once again validate everything Cole is talking about on the song. After all, there's an abundance of young rappers who are blowing up left and right, and the lyrical content in 1985 is very relevant to most of them. But yeah, the 1985 effect presented by J. Cole featuring me. But what do you personally think about this entire topic though? Do you think that the 1985 effect is something that actually exists? Definitely let me know in the comment section below.
Of course it exists. If I was a rapper, this is from my perspective, y'all, as a black man. If I was a rapper and I started blowing up, yeah, I'll start buying my homeboys, you know, my homegirls, my family, jewelry, cars, all that stuff, you feel me? But at the same time, you can't waste all that money because you got to go on tour. You got to pay for everything on tour. You got to travel. You got to take care of yourself at that, buy food, all that shit. And you got to think to yourself, like, should I keep doing music or not? I will continue to do music because I can't just blow up off of that one song and just not doing me. Like, for example, Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X was a broke ass nigga. He had like, I think he had like $50 in his bank account, right? Maybe, matter of fact, not even 50, maybe 20. He put a screenshot about that shit years ago. $20 in his bank account. Old Town Road blew up so bad, I mean so good, that he could live off of it, right? But he realized he has to drop an album and drop more music, so he got to keep grinding. So he did. He dropped a few songs, and I think he had like three or four more bangers. And I was like, hey, these shits are really good. You gotta keep grinding. I would keep grinding. If I was him, I was Lil Nas, I would have kept grinding too. Smokepurpp, Pump, and Lil Xan, those niggas stopped making music, or their albums flopped completely, and they just fell off completely. The 1985 effect is real, because when niggas grow up, when the kids grow up, they're gonna be like, man, this man was trash. I used to listen to this man all the time. I hear that all the time when I'm gaming, bro. Oh, I used to listen to him, bro. He's garbage. I don't know how I listen to that man. It's true. I used to fuck with Smokepurpp, but now I'm like, man, his old shit was better than his new shit. His new shit is trash, and he don't be dropping. The 1985 effect is real. When you have money and you blow up as a rapper, you better start investing. Don't be splurging all your money, because you never know when you're gonna fall off. Everyone has a point when they're like, yo, I don't listen to him no more. He's too old now, or he's not the same anymore. It's true. You can still drop music, but it won't be the same. Your fan base probably won't be the same. But yeah, man, the effect is real. Like I said, this video is more towards more towards Pump, but it was towards both of them technically, because they both are friends. But Smokepurpp literally fell off. It's over for him. Lil Pump dropped a song. Lil Pump he does fucking OnlyFans now. Lil Pump does OnlyFans now. So that nigga is doing his own thing. But yeah, man, this effect is real. If you're an upcoming rapper, please keep grinding. Do not diss the niggas who paved the way for you. A lot of niggas paved the way for people how they rap right now. But I'm on, man. Later.